Good evening. Welcome to Front Page. Nara Lokesh, well, thanks for keeping all of us at Front Page super busy. At this point, it honestly does look like Nara Lokesh wants the entire United States and half of Canada to invest in Andhra Pradesh. So when we said on Front Page that there is no stopping Nara Lokesh, we weren't being dramatic. Trust me, we were underestimating him because while global CEOs fly into Delhi to meet Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Nara Lokesh is reverse engineering that very strategy, flying out to meet the same global CEOs on their home turf and saying one simple thing. If you're betting on India's future, put a serious chip on Andhra Pradesh. Tonight, on Front Page, we are breaking down the full US-Canada CEO tour, company by company, city by city, and what this crazy calendar actually means for India's next big industrial state. So on social media, the reaction is predictable. He's meeting everyone, looks desperate. But if you actually step back, this isn't random networking. It's actually an architected economic blueprint. Earlier on Front Page, we broke how Andhra has already locked $120 billion in firm commitments from renewables and data centers to quantum and drones. Now, this US-Canada tour reads like the cap table of India's next AI infrastructure state. Google, Nvidia, Intel, AMD, Adobe, Zoom, OpenAI, plus Fairfax, CPPIB, Business Council of Canada, plus OpenText, OpsRamp, and a 12-company Silicon Valley delegation. This definitely is not just one MOU, one photo, one press release. We've said this earlier on Front Page. This is actually a minister behaving like a startup founder on a fundraise, stacking strategic investors around one core thesis, which is Andhra Pradesh will be India's sunrise AI plus semiconductor plus GCC state. And now, as we promised, it is that time to break down the tour. So please fasten your seatbelts. In San Francisco, Lokesh meets Sundar Pichai, CEO, Thomas Kurian, CEO Google Cloud, Bikash Kole, VP and Global Head Google Cloud. And what's on the table? Reviewing the $15 billion Visakhapatnam AI data center, projected to be one of Google's biggest FDI bets outside the United States, pushing to accelerate build timelines so the campus doesn't just exist on paper. Invite Google to build drone assembly, calibration and testing inside Andhra Pradesh's upcoming drone city. Deepen a server manufacturing ecosystem around the data center. So I believe it looks like Lokesh is trying to turn Vizag into Google's AI plus hardware beachhead on India's East Coast. With Nvidia's Raj Mirpuri, the VP, Enterprise and Cloud Sales, the proposal is for a smart factory pilot in Andhra using Omniverse plus Isaac Sim. The collaboration will be on AI skilling, smart manufacturing, deep tech training, which indicates a clear nudge towards help bring OSAT/ATMP partners into India, with Andhra Pradesh as a landing pad. Now, with AMD's Vamsi Bopanna, who is the Senior Vice President, discussions will be around Andhra Pradesh's semiconductor roadmap, positioning Andhra Pradesh electronics as a serious hub for chip design plus manufacturing. When decoded, it actually means this. He isn't asking, can you please come? He's asking, which part of your AI hardware value chain can we lock into Andhra Pradesh? At Intel Santa Clara headquarters, Lokesh meets Sesha Krishnapura, the global IT CTO. The pitch, it includes this: setting up an ATMP, which is an assembly, testing, marking and packaging unit along the Visakhapatnam-Chennai industrial corridor, creating an Intel Amravati AI Research Center with IIIT Sri City /IIT Tirupati. building HPC clusters and Intel skill labs into Andhra Pradesh's university system. When decoded, it means this is Andhra Pradesh signaling it doesn't just want jobs, it wants fabs, ATMP, research, HPC, and curriculum, the full semiconductor stack. With OpenAI CTO Srinivas Narayanan, the conversation moves to AI education and curriculum, innovation clusters, which means Andhra Pradesh's ambition to build 20 AI-driven innovation hubs across the state, positioning Andhra Pradesh as a live test bed for AI-first governance, services, and startups. When decoded, it means you rarely see a state IT minister in a structured meeting with OpenAI. This is clearly Andhra Pradesh trying to plug directly into the AI brain of the world, not just its data centers. Now, let's talk about Adobe. Shantanu Narayan, who is the CEO, the invitation is to build a global capability slash development center in Vishakhapatnam. The collaboration will be on fabulous design, digital innovation, health tech, and life sciences, leveraging Andhra MedTech zone and pharma clusters. As for Zoom is concerned, he is meeting Velchami Shankaralingam, who is the president, product and engineering, and Aparna Bava, who is the COO. Basically, the proposal is for an R&D plus engineering center in Amravati or Vizag. GCC style setup to support this. Virtual classrooms connecting urban teachers with rural students, telemedicine networks between village clinics and district hospitals, and then, of course, he moves on to open text. He's meeting with John Ratko, the senior vice president. The discussions will be on investing in AI, quantum computing, and next generation digital tech, joint skill development plus internship programs, the expansion into Tier 2 India with Andhra as a primary destination. As far as ops ramp, cloud operations, hybrid infrastructure, and how Andhra Pradesh can modernize its IT operations stack as governance digitizes. The decoding of this will mean this. This is actually Andhra Pradesh going hard after the GCC migration wave. Companies diversifying beyond Bengaluru and Hyderabad, and of course, tying it directly to education, health, and public services. The 12 company Silicon Valley delegation, on top of all this, Lokesh also sits with representatives from 12 Silicon Valley companies across AI, cloud, cybersecurity, data and analytics, manufacturing tech, semiconductor adjacent tooling. And the pitch theme? Choose speed, choose Andhra Pradesh. He sells Andhra not just as another state, but as a high-speed approvals machine, a stable political policy environment, a state that has already converted MOUs into grounded projects, from Renew's massive green energy bet to hyperscale data centers. When decoded, this is market making. He's not just chasing projects. He's actually trying to reposition Andhra Pradesh in the minds of founders, VCs, and operators as the state you build in when speed is your operating system. If you thought that it was over, wait, not just yet. And of course, if you have some time, please grab a popcorn and some chips and something to drink with as well. Because from Silicon Valley, the tour now moves to Toronto, and the conversations shift from CPUs and GPUs to patient capital and credibility. The Business Council of Canada, Goldie Hyder, AP, pitches itself as Canada's preferred India entry point. The discussions on how Canadian businesses can plug into renewable energy, ports and logistics, advanced manufacturing, urban infrastructure in Amravati and Vishakhapatnam. So when decoded, this is country-level signaling. If you're coming from Canada to India, don't just think Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, think Amravati, Vizag. Prem Vatsa, who is the Fairfax Group, meeting Prem Vatsa, chairman of a $30 billion plus Fairfax. The talks would be strategic multi-decade investments in Andhra Pradesh, which showcases Andhra Pradesh's stable governance, clear vision, and execution track record. When decoded, Vatsa is famously conservative about what he backs publicly. So, if Andhra can even get a serious look in from Fairfax, it's a huge image upgrade for the state on global investor maps. The CPPIB aspect, which is the meeting with Tim Downing. With CPPIB, Canada Pension Plan Investment Board, the exploration in terms of the investments is this: solar, wind, green energy, ports, logistics, toll roads, Amravati's urban infrastructure. When decoded, this clearly is a 30 to 40-year money, which is basically the kind of capital that quietly builds ports, metros, highways, and industrial corridors without screaming for quarterly headlines. Now, it's time that we'd all take a breather and put all of this into one list as together. Google, Nvidia, Intel, AMD, Adobe, Zoom, OpenAI, OpenText, OpsRamp. Then we have the 12 Silicon Valley companies across AI, cloud, security, and manufacturing. Then we come to the Business Council of Canada, Fairfax, CPPIB, 20 plus engagements by one minister, one thesis. Andhra Pradesh wants the entire AI semiconductor GCC stack, not just one logo from foundation models and AI infrastructure, which is OpenAI and Google, to GPUs and chips, which is Nvidia, AMD, Intel, to SaaS and GCCs, which is Adobe, Zoom, OpenText, to Ops and infrastructure, which is OpsRamp, CPPIB, Fairfax. This tour is Andhra saying, don't just put a small office here. Put your entire compute, your talent, your research and development, your logistics, your capital right here in Andhra Pradesh. GCC migration is very real. And Andhra Pradesh wants the next wave, not the last one. So instead of fighting over yesterday's IT services pie, Andhra Pradesh is pitching AI-first GCCs, product and R&D centers, industry academia, linkages with IIITs and IITs, direct integration into public, health and education systems. This is GCCs as nation-building infrastructure, not just cost arbitrage back offices. Desperate versus deliberate is the wrong debate. I believe so. Because, yes, from the outside, it looks like, you know what, he's meeting everyone in the US and Canada, bro. But from the inside, this is what it really is. $120 billion already in firm commitments, $500 billion target in 5 years, $1 trillion in 10. A state that has automated escrow-linked investment flows, promised sovereign comfort to investors, publicly declared that speed is greater than excuses. We, of course, have said it before on Front Page, and we will say it again. It still holds. Other states talk about ease of doing business. Andhra keeps talking about the speed of doing business. This tour is exactly that speed, exported to San Francisco, Santa Clara, and Toronto. And finally, as always, we do it here. It's a ritual, the front page take. So if it feels like Nara Lokesh wants the entire US to invest in Andhra Pradesh, that's because that's exactly the plan. Hyperscalers, chip giants, SaaS leaders, AI labs, pension funds, all nudged one by one towards the same two words: choose Andhra Pradesh. The real question isn't whether this looks like overkill. The real question is, even if 50 to 60% of these conversations harden into projects, does Andhra Pradesh actually quietly become India's most important AI infrastructure state by 2030? Please do let us know what you think in the comments below. The question is this just good optics or the early chapters of India's next big state level turnaround story. This is Front Page by AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, think AI, and if, well, you're a Nara Lokesh fan, think AP, think AIM.